Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. We have a few things to cover because we didn't talk yesterday. I had time to, but I didn't. Um, so first of all, no, Trump doesn't give a goddamn about the government shutdown. He just gets to wander around ruling like a king and build his little ballroom and do his little renovations and be a developer. Um, and apparently just crisscross around the world. He on his ego trips. Um, he doesn't care, and it's not going to matter to any of them until it's inconveniencing rich people. And even then, oh, um, the wealthiest of them aren't going to be inconvenienced by air traffic controllers not working. Um, they have their own private planes. Although they need those airports, they can find others. Um, but even if that is a problem, I feel like we're hitting a pay for pay donor class situation. There's already some guy who threw in like 300 million to help pay the military, something like that. I don't get it. Um, so they'll be like, oh, here's some money to keep the air traffic controllers going. Like, we shouldn't have corporate sponsorships of government jobs. Like, that's just not that. I mean, that's what they want to do. They want to privatize everything to put profit into the pockets of the oligarchs. So he doesn't give a shit about the government shutdown. Um, and I don't know what's going to make him. I feel like if the Democrats had any balls whatsoever, but they don't, they'd team up with some Republicans who are like, my constituents are going to be hurt by this. Go call for, I don't know if it's a vote of no confidence or how we get whatever it is, like just call for the removal of the speaker, um, and and start conducting business. Like, swear in that lady. Like, just go to work. Um, it might not be constitutional, but does that matter at this point? Like, just go do the fucking work. Go back to Washington. At least pretend like you've got a spot in governance. It's just it all just seems so ridiculous. And no, they're not going to stop their talking point about Democrats are trying to give health care away to the immigrants. And this is the thing that's so frustrating is that part of those subsidies that the um, Democrats are fighting to keep go to paying back hospitals for emergent care when a patient can't pay. The rule is no matter who comes through the door, you treat them. So, on the rare occasion that that person who comes through the door with traumatic injury that needs life saving efforts is an undocumented immigrant, that hospital still gets reimbursed for that. That's the sticking point. It's as per usual. The Republicans want to prevent millions of people from getting benefits that they need because one or two or a handful of people may or may not slip through the cracks and get something that they technically aren't entitled to. And that's what's such bullshit about this. And the SNAP benefits, half the reason that people are on SNAP benefits is because they're working and not making enough money to actually feed their families, like at Walmart and at Amazon, who get huge government subsidies in tax breaks, but don't pay their employees enough to actually make a living and sustain themselves. And the whole idea that Republicans keep throwing out that these greedy people that do nothing, they sit at home and they just want to live off the government's teeth. It's not the case. The vast majority of people want to work and are working. They just don't make enough because of the greed, the corporate greed. It's so pathetic. And then they convince other people who are poor that the poor people are screwing them and not the actual oligarchs. Fuck. I don't know who's buying that whole line, but they're so good at selling it, and the Democrats suck um, at at countering it. I don't know. I mean, it takes a lot of balls for Mike Johnson to be like, we don't have any power. You've all the power, you dumb shit. Um, anyway, so that's really upsetting. Um, and it will become the longest shutdown in history because he doesn't give a shit about putting it back together. Um, they don't want to govern. Uh, and they don't want to help people. They don't. That's the thing that bugs me the most. Government is a service. It's not a corporation. Anyway, so John Carl comes out today and said a few interesting things. Um, One is his whole, you know, he broke down the episodes at Butler, Pennsylvania, minute by minute. Okay, so you got him to the hospital where you say the first thing he said was, "How's it playing on TV?" Which just goes to say that maybe he was never concerned about his own safety because he wasn't really shot. But then what happens after that? What's the care that he received? Where did that blood come from? The blood. And why, if it was his ear, is his ear fully intact? What happened? What was his care? Is that in the book? Because nobody ever talks about it. It just all, goes back to the whole conspiracy that he probably wasn't shot. Um, so that was an interesting little tidbit. And um, the fact that he says that tells that story, and Trump's first words in the hospital are, "How's it playing on TV?" and then laughs about it. It's not funny. Like, that's not a little personality quirk. That's like, what? Why is he not more concerned? Was anyone else hurt? How about that? Oh, anyway, nope. He's just scared of how he looks on TV. And um, he also talked a little bit about the shutdown and Trump's priorities. And no, Trump is having a ball. Just the fact that we're in this government shutdown, people are losing. Government workers are working for free. People are losing all their benefits. Like, things are going to get dire. And the press secretary has the nerve to stand up and say the president's number one priority is his ballroom. Like, it is such a let them eat cake moment. And I don't understand how anyone who is struggling to get by thinks that that is a priority for the president of the United States. That that's an appropriate priority, and they want. That's mind-boggling. I mean, I know they're stupid, and I know they're racist, and I know that they love him because he lets them be as mean as they want to be. But what's the fucking tipping point? Um, it's just ridiculous. And they talked yesterday about Steve Bannon saying that Trump will be in the White House in 2028 and he's going to stay, and there's all sorts of things in place to make that happen. And John Carl says that Trump says he's publicly not, or he privately says he's not, and is overly concerned about his legacy because. And here's my thought: maybe he knows he's dying, and he's racing to get this legacy built in the White House so that it's there before he's dead. And maybe that's why, that's what his focus is, and that's why he privately tells people that he won't be there. But Steve Bannon just doesn't know how sick he is. Maybe. Because I don't know how we get out of this. The thing is, if he's alive, in 2028 and he wants to stay, he's going to figure out a way to stay. And I don't know that we have enough um, sort of firepower to stop him. And by firepower, I don't mean ammunition and weaponry. I mean people with a backbone who will fight him on that. So it's just and that's the thing. Everything is worrisome, um, and we still don't have the Epstein list, and he still never got prosecuted for stealing confident, classified documents and storing them in the fucking bathroom. He's still prosecuted for trying to steal the election or the coup that he initiated on January 6th. Like, Justice Department failed us last term. Thanks, Merrick Garland. Anyway, that's that's an uplifting Tuesday, isn't it? It's not fun. Everything should be more fun.